Hello everybody, welcome to Snyder's Inc. And today we got video from Tuv. This is OnlyFans girls who became horrible criminals. Oh boy, OnlyFans is a fucking weird ass site, man. It ain't for me. It ain't my type of site. But anyway, we're gonna get right into it. Hit a like button, hit subscribe button, comment what you think down below. Let's go.
In February of 2023, OnlyFans saw approximately 1 billion monthly visits from users worldwide. The website launched in 2016 and is a social and video platform that allows creators to monetize their content via paid subscriptions and tips. In recent years, the London-based platform has become increasingly popular for hosting adult content, though today we'll be focusing on the darker side of the site. Welcome to OnlyFans girls who became horrible criminals. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Different room. This is scary. Yeah, like I said in my last video, moved out of my mom's house. Thank you guys once again, give me that opportunity. I know it's gonna take some time to get used to, believe me. But yeah, we got the YouTube achievements up there. Here, I'll show you guys. Y'all see that? My YouTube achievements up there. We got Danny in the background like always. I mean, as time goes on, I guess I'm gonna be adding more stuff to my room, but I'm gonna get a different light though, because I feel like this light is shining downward, so you see like a shadow on my neck. But anyway, we're back. We're finally back, man. I'm so happy to do these regular videos. Took some time off. The whole moving process was crazy. But very quickly, I'm gonna give you guys some announcements really quick. So the last restocks of ear candy CDs and cassettes are now up on the website. They're actually signed. Like last time I signed the plastic on them, but these are actually signed on the thing itself. So sorry to people that bought the others. I mean, I still signed it though. I still signed it. Just sign the plastic. And also, the Earl plushie sold out in under 24 hours. And thank you guys so much. Look, I even cried on my Instagram story. Isn't that crazy? Y'all really ride for me, and that is crazy. Thank you guys so much, seriously, with the whole support on Earl. And the last thing is that my podcast with my friends, the Crew Podcast, is finally back on my second channel. That's really it for announcements. Now, let's talk about OnlyFans girls who became horrible criminals. We also have an exclusive interview with an OnlyFans model who is actually at the top 3.2%. So if you think that sounds interesting, make sure to stick around. What if you get older and you have kids and your kids end up seeing that? What if they look up your name out of curiosity on Google and they see you sucking, or they have a bully at school and their bully's like, hey, look, it's your mom sucking. What do? What's the plan? Also, I was debating on whether I should.
I will appreciate the fact that this guy did an interview with an OnlyFans like person, and just straight. Like that's how you dive into the conversation. You don't resist. You don't try to beat around the bush. That is how you do an interview. It's what I just saw. That is an interview on how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. Amazing. Amazing.
Name this video OnlyFans models who became horrible criminals or OnlyFans girls. I think I chose OnlyFans girls, but I am very aware OnlyFans for any gender. I just want to make that clear. But yeah, that's really it. Let's head on to the video. Courtney Clenny. When it comes to OnlyFans models committing a crime, one of the most prominent cases is that of Courtney Clenny, aka Courtney Taylor. The case contains horrific details about how a tumultuous relationship ended with Clenny facing possible life in prison. In an incident that occurred on April 3rd, 2022 between 4:43 p.m. and 4:56 p.m., Clenny, aged 26 at the time, is alleged to have stabbed her boyfriend, 27-year-old cryptocurrency investor Christian Toby Obumseli, to death. The knife, which she initially claimed to have
I never understand. I don't think I ever will, and that's fine. That's just the way life is, right? But I don't think I've ever understood. If you're in a relationship, but like the relationship is just boyfriend girlfriend, right? That's all it is, just boyfriend girlfriend. Not married or anything like that. Why do people feel like then they have to take their others, like their significant other's life to get out of a relationship? Like, just end the relationship. If you don't want to be in the relationship, just fucking end it. I don't get it. I can't figure it out. And I know I never will. Because I've never been there. I've never been in that case where there's a relationship that you don't want to be in, but you feel you have to be. I've never been there. Because anytime I've had a relationship that doesn't work out, usually it's because of me. So I wouldn't know. I guess what the person does, they leave, and I get it. But never would I expect, and never would I want any person to be in a relationship with me feel like the only way they can get out is if they kill me. Like, if you want to leave, just fucking leave. Just don't, I don't want no one to be trapped in a relationship with me. That's fucking, because to be that trapped in a relationship is fucking insanity.
Thrown from 10 feet away, penetrated Obumseli's chest right above where he had a tattoo of her name. The crime occurred at the lovers' Miami apartment, where they had just moved in at the start of 2022. Despite being new to the residence, the police had already visited them twice due to the neighbors raising domestic disturbance complaints. The series of images of the crime scene, released in November 2022 by Miami-Dade prosecutors, reveal gory details of the incident. Clenny is seen donning blood-drenched sweatpants, while also being covered in blood on her hands, feet, and part of her nightgown. The images also show some love letters from Obumseli to Clenny. It seemed he loved her a lot, given that one of the letters starts with, "You're the sweetest and most annoying woman I know." The letter then proceeds into a detailed profession of love, where he even describes her as his, quote, personal sunset. Moments after the stabbing at 4:57 p.m., Clenny made a 911 call and can be heard apologizing to the boyfriend, even as she pleaded with the operator saying, "My boyfriend is dying of a stab wound." During the call, the boyfriend could be heard in the background crying out that he couldn't feel his arm. When the police arrived at the scene, they found her holding the bleeding boyfriend in her arms. There was blood everywhere, on the kitchen island, in the master bedroom, the bathroom, and the back of the living room. As they attended to Obumseli, she was ordered to sit out on the balcony where she began kissing her dogs. She was later questioned for about 4 hours at the local police station, got admitted to a psychiatrical ward, but then was released just 2 days later. The release was due to the view that Clenny claimed it was self-defense. In a weird twist of events, just after killing Obumseli, Clenny made wire transfers totaling $1.15 million to her father's bank account. They argued that the money was enough to move out of the country and that her job didn't tie her down to a specific location. It's worth noting that Clenny had made a lot of money through her OnlyFans.
This girl's smart. Right after the killing her boyfriend, immediately makes a transfer of, what is it, 1.5 or 15 or something? Millions of dollars towards her father's bank account so she can get out of the goddamn country. I don't know if she got that, like, plan worked, but that was the plan.
Career at that point. In 2021, she made $1.8 million. Just a year earlier, in 2020, she made $966,692. And in 2022, before shutting down her account, she had made $327,221. Such income.
That's a hell of a drop. 927,000. Was that it? 927? Right? Hold on.
Made a lot of money through her OnlyFans career at that point. In 2021, she made $1.8 million. Just a year earlier, in 2020, she made
966,000. 2021, 1.8 million.
Right? She made 1.8 million.
Yeah, 1.8 million. 2022, 327,000. That is a humongous drop. You might think, man, she's making money. I guarantee you she was concerned. Because while that's still a lot of money, that's a humongous drop from 1.8
million. Just a year earlier, in 2020, she made $966,692. And in 2022, before shutting down her account, she had made $327,221. Such income explains why they lived in a very luxurious address and a 22nd floor with 3 bedrooms and a great view of Biscayne Bay. After her release, she fled Miami to be closer with her family, and on June 17, 2022, 2 months after Obumseli's death, she bought a 3,080 square foot, $1.3 million luxurious home with a pool and hot tub in Lake Point, Texas, near her parents. Countering the murder claim, her lawyers argued that she did act in self-defense after Obumseli had grabbed her by the throat, but a judge said that claim wasn't credible. The lawyers also stated that just a day earlier, he had stalked and beat her. This was revealed in released police body cam footage after the officers had responded to a domestic strife involving the couple. Clenny was once again arrested on August 10, 2022, where she had gone for substance abuse. The arrest was after more evidence had been collected by Obumseli's lawyer. Also, it's almost almost like Obumseli knew things were going to take a turn for the worst because he left behind a lot of evidence that was used against Clenny. A series of phone recordings from Obumseli were presented to the court as proof of Clenny's deeply toxic behavior. The clips include her yelling racial slurs, screaming, demeaning, and cursing him out. In one of the recordings, she's heard telling him, "Man up, bitch," and "Shut up and let me slap you, dumbass." I don't know why I said it so aggressive. The reason? Well, he apparently didn't tell her that he said hello to a female acquaintance while on a bicycle ride. She even commands him, "Find my fucking phone and charge it." Larry Hanfield, Obumseli's family attorney, said he found the recordings as evidence of someone who is, quote, unhinged and out of control. Further evidence that she was the aggressor is a video of the couple from February 21st, 2022, in their apartment's elevator where she is seen attacking him and trying to pull his hair. Also, in an exchange over the
I've seen that clip. I think I see that clip on Twitter or something like that, and I never could figure out I couldn't figure out anything else from it because I didn't know who anyone was. But yeah, I've seen that before.
Phone, Clenny once told Obumseli, "I actually literally fucking want to kill you," which is not.
Well, that's coincidence. I mean, what a coincidence. The girl who said, "I actually legitimately want to kill you," then actually legitimately killed him. What are the odds? Had to have been self-defense, clearly. Jesus. Well, she did. She kept her word.
Not gonna look too great in court. Clenny now faces second-degree murder for the crime and is awaiting trial in 2023. Abigail White. This case focuses on Abigail White, aka Fake Barbie, aka Mitzi Lewis, a British OnlyFans model who, following a really toxic relationship and a painful breakup, stabbed and killed her boyfriend, Bradley Lewis, on March 25th, 2021. Before we look into the highly contrasting upbringings of these two lovers, let's dive straight into what happened on that specific day that Bradley died. Earlier in the day, Abigail and Bradley met in a public park, with the meeting having been summoned by Bradley, who had resolved that he no longer wanted to be with Abigail. He informed her of the decision and she was enraged. She clearly didn't take kindly to the news. However, despite the breakup, moments after 5 p.m., the couple, together with Abigail's friends, were captured by a surveillance camera going into the Horseshoe Pub and then proceeding to the beer garden area. As they began partying, Abigail started acting weird. She was angry, short-tempered, and caused problems with other customers. This was probably the influence of mixing a line of coke and alcohol, and also the pain of the decision that Bradley made earlier at the park. You know, she got broken up with. And Bradley wasn't doing so well himself. A man found him crying in the men's bathroom, claiming that he was scared of Abigail and didn't know what to do. And he also thought that if he left, she would take her own life. I'm guessing she had a history of claiming to do that. It was clearly a messy situation, and the evening, already riddled with chaos, got even worse. Abigail got into a fight with one of the customers. She slapped him and he slapped her back, causing her to fall. She then walked back to Bradley, took his drink from him, and threw it in his face because he didn't defend her. She also spat in the face of a friend who told
Wait a minute, so she got into a fight after he dumped her? Threw a drink in her face? Slammed him and she got pushed down and injured? Hey, sorry about the cut there. I had to go deal with my friend who needed to rant about his stupid building he lives in and how incredibly shit the people are who run it. Back to this.
her to stop bullying Bradley. Maybe tired of the chaos.
Oh, I didn't remember what we were talking about. So I brought up how, like, this girl got into a fight, got pushed, and was mad at the boyfriend she no longer has because they broke up, didn't defend her. Well, guess what? You're not together, he doesn't need to defend you. In fact, he probably was cheering for the other person you fought with.
They all wanted to go home, and so at around 7:50 p.m., Alfie, a mutual friend of the couple, gave them a ride. They argued all the way back, and on arrival, as Abigail stormed into the house, Bradley, who had hung back for a bit, said to Alfie, "I'm dead when I get home." Barely 20 minutes after Alfie departed at 8:10 p.m., emergency services got called by a neighbor, Mrs. Kundi. Mrs. Kundi had already responded to a scream from Abigail, and on entering the house, she had found Bradley lying on the kitchen floor with blood covering the hallway and living room. A knife was also on the radiator. Abigail claimed that Bradley had stabbed himself after a heated argument, a story that police didn't believe. Unfortunately, Bradley was pronounced dead at 1:30 a.m. The knife had penetrated his heart. Alright, now let's go back to their childhood backstories. Bradley was a gentle soul all the way from childhood. He grew up in a loving home, with his childhood football manager saying he was one of the nicest kids you could ever meet. And And on the other hand, Abigail grew up in an unstable home. While aged just 4 years, her parents split up due to domestic violence. Even worse, her stepdad, who came into her life thereafter, was physically abusive towards her, so she ended up in foster care. All along, she had behavioral problems in school, and due to mental and emotional instability, she got prescribed antidepressants at just 13 years old. Abigail's path ended up with her doing OnlyFans, where, despite a good start, making £60,000 in the first year, her popularity dwindled, leading to an income of about £12,000 a year later. She, however, managed to survive by relying on Bradley's income. The two had been an item for a while, since they dated from back when Bradley was just 16 years old. They even had 3 children together. However, their relationship, which Abigail termed very rough and controlling, was mostly turbulent with allegations of cheating. This is well evident given they had
Yep. That's most cases when we're talking relationship. Both people think each other are cheating. It's always the way both relationships go. But if you can't get out of your brain that the person you're with is loyal, just get out of the relationship. Because if you think immediately into the relationship that they're cheating on you, it's not gonna last.
a 4th child that wasn't Bradley's. Following the death, Abigail pleaded guilty to manslaughter. She refused to take full responsibility despite the amount of evidence against her. Phone records, for instance, revealed that she had sent hundreds of threatening messages to Bradley. One message from February 7th, 2021 read, "I swear to God, I will stab you." There was also a damning voice
I just realized what that said. I wasn't even gonna deal with that, but also the fact that this girl literally sent him a text message to the dude saying, "I'm gonna stab you," and then the guy ended up stabbed. With her there.
recording where Abigail told a friend that Bradley could only tell the truth when she, quote, beat the fucking daylights out of him.
Obviously, I have no limit when I get angry, and like obviously he said that I need help with that because people are generally saying to me, one of you are going to end up dead, like, and I fully believe that I'm quite capable of killing him if he hurts me again, or I'm going to end up being in prison. But I don't believe a word that comes out of that boy's mouth. I have to beat the living daylights out of him for him to tell me the truth, and he still don't tell me the truth. He only tells me the truth when he thinks I'm going to kill him. Like when I get a knife out, like when I stab him, like, oh, I just don't get this kid.
Equally disturbing evidence is that just about a week before the fatal stabbing, on March 19, 2021, Abigail had stabbed him in the arm, causing a massive wound. Bradley had covered for her, lying to the doctor, saying that he had an accident at work. So, where did the case end up? Well, in 2022, Abigail got sentenced to life in prison, which means that she'll be jailed for at least 18 years before being eligible for parole. Jeannie...
All the signs, I mean, she couldn't have gotten herself out of that. All signs point to her. She didn't even help her case. Cause you're his ex. You just walk up out of his house, being like, "Hey, he stabbed himself. He stabbed himself. That's all that happened." And then the girl, literally, in every sentence, said she was gonna beat the shit out of him, going to stab him specifically, and then yeah, this girl never stood a chance to get away from that.
Exum. So the two cases we just talked about have something in common, that being that they stabbed someone to death. And I don't know why that's I don't want to say popular, but kind of popular way that OnlyFans criminals have killed people. I don't know, I really don't know how else to say it, but this is another one. This is another stabbing one in a strangely familiar fashion to the other.
I feel like all these girls are just afraid to use other weapons. They just know they can easily grab, it's like easily can be planned to grab a knife and stab someone. It's just the most easiest one, most easiest bare bones, don't put much work in. It's just the best, it's, I guess, their best tool.
To our aggressor, Jeannie Exum, and Instagram and OnlyFans.
Don't ever can think about any of you. Any of you weird, if any of my people, any members of Sniper Squad, if you got OnlyFans, that's your choice. You know, you do whatever the heck you want to do with it. I don't want to find out anyone who subscribed to this channel did any horrible crime. I mean, I would never know, but I don't want to find out. Don't you try anything stupid. Y'all smarter than that.
model based in Manhattan, stabbed her boyfriend, Francis Amor, following a domestic dispute. The incident occurred on Monday, October 18th, 2021 at around 6:45 p.m. at their luxurious apartment. They lived at 10th Avenue, Hudson Yards, Midtown in New York City. The couple had been in a heated argument before Exum took a knife and stabbed Amor. At the time, Exum was 22 while Amor was 30 years old. After being stabbed, Amor staggered into the apartment's lobby where a doorman noticed him and made a 911 call. Both the NYPD and EMS responded to the call, arriving at the location shortly after. He was taken to the NYC Health and Hospital Bellevue and remained in stable condition. Exum had stabbed them both in the arm and the back, and luckily Amor, who went by the name Bo Baby Boy Pajules, suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Following the incident, Exum appeared in the New York criminal court where she was charged with a Class D felony, assault with the intent to cause physical injury along with a weapon. Interestingly, she didn't even seem fazed by the incident, since she even took a photo where she was smirking next to an NYPD detective. She posted it on her stories and captioned it, "They took my phone, y'all. I'm on the trap right now. And now they don't stop me and I get locked up." She said Akon's locked up as the Instagram music thing for the story. In an equally carefree fashion, while leaving the courthouse, she had told a reporter, "Subscribe to my OnlyFans." But such behavior is no surprise, as it's consistent with her social media personality. On OnlyFans, for instance, she describes herself as a, quote, "free spirit from Alabama with a loud mouth and dirty mind." The free spirit ideology is probably why she was so popular both on Instagram and OnlyFans. On OnlyFans, she had been charging $20 per subscription, but she put a 50% sale to thousands of her fans. On Instagram, where she often posted lewd photos of herself, she had 35,000 followers and gained 10,000 more following the stabbing incident. How lewd were the photos? Well, just a month before the incident, she had garnered a lot of followers after posting a photo where she flashed her breasts in front of an NYPD car with the caption this. Her following has grown significantly in the last 2 years, as she currently has over 293,000.
I'm not even surprised. These people are so fucking weird. I don't know what it is that men love about weird fucking girls. It's just bizarre. Fucking bizarre. But, you know. It's what they do. It's what weird people are. I don't get it. And these girls need to call herself a free spirit, and they're like, yeah, she's no matter what she does, it's fine. She's a free spirit. Also fucking insane.
Instagram followers and about 641,000 likes on her over 1,600 posts on OnlyFans. Exum, while not having a criminal record at the time, was however not new to violent behavior.
She also beat her cousin with a liquor bottle. Fucking hell. Violent woman. Relax, man.
In October 2018, while living with her cousin in Phoenix, Alabama, in a fight over money, she hit her with a liquor bottle on the head, knocking her to the ground. Her cousin, Marlo, never pressed.
Disabled woman hired a professional escort to have sex for the first time at 43. Why do I always notice these things? I can't just notice this. I have to notice this because my brain just can't unsee why I had to see it though.
Charges, despite suffering facial bruises, cuts on the arms, a ripped nail, and a death threat. So, did Exum get sentenced for her boyfriend's stabbing? Well, just like her cousin, her boyfriend ended up dropping the charges against her. She was in jail for just a night. Later, in an interview with Barstool Sports,
"That's a toxic relationship. I can't think of any relationship that you would have with someone where you got stabbed in the arm and back and went, nah, I don't want to press charges, it's all good. I don't want to know any relationship that fucking bad. That's insanity."
she said that in hindsight, the situation was more serious than she had thought, and she learned her lesson. Titus Lowe. Alright y'all, remember when I said I wanted to name the video OnlyFans models instead of OnlyFans girls? We actually have a guy on this list. Yeah, we are gonna differentiate. OnlyFans girls just sounds better as a title. That's it. Alright, moving on from the stabbing stories, this next one is a great example of why being aware of your country's laws, however absurd they may be, can save you jail time. The story is about one of Singapore's most successful OnlyFans creators with over 210,000 social media followers, Titus Lowe. Now, despite the large following, the well-known influencer was quoted saying that he had been struggling with money in the period leading up to 2021. He had thus decided to join OnlyFans in order to improve his earnings. He signed up for the platform around April 2021 and began posting content. His content did well since between April and October 2021, he made $240,979 from his 1,900 subscribers. This success, however, lasted until October 2021, when a person reported to the police that they found a video of Lowe performing a sex act on their 12-year-old niece's phone. Immediately, the police responded, confiscated his phone, iPad, and the details of his OnlyFans account. I think it's worth noting that he didn't send any videos to any minors. The video just ended up being found on the girl's phone. I don't know how she got it. On October 11th, he was warned to not access his account anymore or they would press criminal charges against him. He defied this order on October 12th, and so the police returned to his house on November 2nd, 2021, and took away his spare phone and the OnlyFans account details again. The investigation went on, but Lowe still accessed his account and posted more content. On December 29th, 2021, he was told to present himself to the police station and was arrested and locked up. Recalling the arrest, he said, "I felt very scared, and the way they treated me, it was like I had done something very bad." At one point, he also told the BBC, "Whenever I read BBC now, I just think of better black community." Shout out Kendrick Curry. Videos are fucking hilarious. Anyway, he told the BBC, "In my case, it's a consensual thing between adults, so I didn't think there was any problem." Despite believing that there was no problem, he got charged with transmitting obscene materials and failing to comply with the order restricting him from accessing his account. Transmitting obscene materials carries an up to 3-month jail term, while the second offense carries up to 6 months in jail and a $5,000 fine. Singapore's penal code clearly states that it's illegal to transmit any obscene material electronically, as well as to receive or take part in profits generated from the transmission of such material. It's safe to say that Lowe had ticked off the police because, despite the October 11th warning, he had used his secondary email to log back into the OnlyFans account. So while the investigations were going on, he posted 8 more obscene photos and videos and withdrew a large amount of money from the platform via a friend's bank account. The police noticed that they couldn't log into his OnlyFans account, and that's why they returned to his house on November 2nd. He still went on to access the account a second time by getting help from the OnlyFans support desk, and again, in defiance of the police order, posted 34 more obscene photos and videos. On October 22nd, 2022, he got fined $3,000 for transmitting obscene content and was sentenced to 3 weeks in jail for defying the police orders. He served his time, and on November 9th, he made a TikTok video announcing his release and return to freedom. He outlined his plan to focus on his firstborn and also to return to OnlyFans, but without the illegal bits. In the video, he said that prison wasn't the best experience. His firstborn arrived in March 2023, and in a classic content creator fashion, he's been entertaining his fans with his new fatherhood role. It's full of wholesome content. For instance, in one of his TikTok videos, he's seen trying his wife's breast milk for his cereal. Yes, that wholesome family channel content. Going forward, we hope that he learned his lesson on running an explicit OnlyFans account in Singapore. And I mean, you could always leave Singapore and just go to another country. Selena Powell. Some people get in trouble to gain clout, and clout is a good way to stay relevant. One such person is Selena Powell, a Miami-based OnlyFans model, who has built herself a reputation as a, quote, black widow for making claims about her alleged sexual escapades with rappers. There's a lot to talk about with her criminal past, but let's just start with the most recent one. In 2021, Powell was arrested and charged with habitually driving on a suspended license. The arrest was made on Monday, March 8th, 2021 in Miami after she was caught making a right turn without using the blinker. The police were actually willing to let her go with a warning, but then they proceeded to arrest her after discovering she was driving with a suspended license. She was taken to jail, and in a classic I don't care fashion, the next day, on Tuesday morning, she tweeted, "I went to jail again, LMFAO." Her license had been previously revoked in Colorado. Why was it revoked, you may ask? Well, unsurprisingly, it was because she had been a traffic offender in that state. Traffic violations aside, a year earlier, in May of 2020, she'd been involved in an altercation with Tory Lanez over claims that she had messaged him on Instagram and made fun of his hairline. As bizarre as that sounds, it led to a police incident report after Powell claimed that Lanez, together with his rumored girlfriend, Kaylin Garcia, had accosted her at the Miami condos where they all stayed and caused her physical harm. It's also very evident that controversy is in her nature, given that before the Tory Lanez incident, she had made several false claims against other individuals for clout. Among her most controversial stories was when, in May 2018, she appeared on DJ Academic's stream and confessed that she lied about being pregnant with Offset's child for a whole 9 months. In the interview, she said, "Once again, there's no baby. Get over it. Suck my dick." She also lied about being paid $50,000 by Offset to get an abortion. Powell has also been arrested many times before. On December 29th, 2018, for instance, she got arrested for different crimes after bounty hunters caught.
This girl looks like a troublemaker. She looks like a troublemaker very badly. She looks like the type of girl gonna cause trouble everywhere she goes. And with any bird she gets, she's desperate for attention. This is an attention-seeking troublemaker. She's desperate for fucking any sort of attention she can get. And she'll literally fake being pregnant with a fucking rapper just to get some attention. It's fucking pathetic.
caught up with her at a hookah lounge in Colorado. The crimes included shoplifting, evading the police, and traffic infractions. She had outstanding bonds worth of $61,000. Also, in June 2022, she was arrested for violating probation terms. She had been mandated alcohol and drug tests by the court after a 2015 arrest, where she was a getaway driver in a theft. Surprisingly though, she got released in July of 2022. She was, however, arrested again on May 1st, 2022 for skipping a court date among other violations, and got sentenced to 2 years in prison. Her court documents show that she was eligible for parole on
She only spent 60 days in prison. No. Justice system's too nice to this bitch.
March 24th, 2023. And now, let's head on to an interview with an OnlyFans model. Like I said in the intro, she is part of the 3.2% of OnlyFans. She has 400,000 followers on Twitter, and she's actually a subscriber of the channel. I found her on Twitter, she would just reply to my tweets, and I figured, wait, I'm making a video on this. This would actually be a really cool interview. But yeah, make sure to support her. Her ad's gonna be in the interview, and I really got nothing else to say. Let's head over to that interview. Hey guys, so here we are at the interview portion of the video, and we're going to be talking to Luna. So I thought it would be fun to ask some burning questions. I think this will be a nice way to give a sex worker a platform and get rid of some stigma. We have our first question. How old are you?
I am 20 years old.
And how did you get into OnlyFans? And how old were you when that happened?
Oh, so I got into OnlyFans when I was it was 1 month after I turned 18. I already had OnlyFans in the back of my mind, like when I was 17, but I really went with it when I was 18. And for my first year, that shit was dead. But once I was at a different point in my life, I actually needed the money to get my first crib. That's when I started.
No, I'll leave it. I was gonna be like, I don't need this part, but no, I'll let it go.
Started taking it more seriously in my second year.
So you're actually top 3.2%. Is that the actual statistic? 3.2%?
Yeah, I kind of moved between 3%, 4%, but
you fell off. No, I'm playing.
Boy.
Okay, so when you say that it was only a month after you turned 18, you weren't thinking about a 9 to 5, or you just went straight to sex work?
Oh, that's a good ass question, actually. So I actually did have a 9 to 5 at the time. I was working for a daycare center.
Whoa, that's a crazy chance.
What? She's what a daycare center. What a twist. What a daycare center. I had daycare center on a day that that's a hell of a. That wasn't meant to last.
Transition daycare to OnlyFans?
Yeah, I was working with elementary school kids. Yeah, I had a 9 to 5 at the time. I was just focused on that. Once I started my OnlyFans, I was like, okay, this is some good passive income. But I still didn't take it serious for whatever reason. I still had a limiting belief, I gotta work hard for my money. So that's why I had a 9 to 5 job. But once I released that limiting belief, okay, how can I work smarter, not harder? That's when I started for real, posting more on OnlyFans, promoting that hoe, starting a Twitter, and all that glam and shit.
Speaking of your Twitter, I'm sure it was a slow and steady rise, but I noticed that on Twitter you got 400,000 followers. That's a crazy ratio compared to your Instagram, where you only have 1,000. I understand you recently made your Instagram, but that is a wild ratio. So I'm gonna assume Twitter is probably the best form of promotion.
Yeah, you got that right. Once I started my OnlyFans and started taking it seriously in the second year, I was looking up YouTube videos and shit. They was talking about Twitter. And Twitter is definitely the only sex worker safe platform other than Reddit. Reddit is confusing. That's why I love to stick to Twitter. And Twitter, you can navigate.
If there was one place I would say is not a safe, easy promote platform, it's fucking Reddit or Twitter. She's got wrong information.
Through that hole so easily. There's communities for sex workers. There's other sex workers posting the same type of similar content, and we all support each other. That's how I grew so quickly on Twitter. I started from 0 followers. In 1 year, I ended with 300 some shit K, damn near 400K.
Jesus. Speaking of the community, have any threats come from this job? And when I say that, I mean harassment, stalking, doxing, blackmail.
Oh, that is a good ass question, because let me get into it. There's a whole iceberg for this shit. And let me get to the tip of the iceberg, bro. There's moments where your content will get leaked, or people will steal your content.
Yeah, they be selling it. They be reselling it.
Yeah, and they try to say some fake ass shit, they use your content, right? They steal it. They try to hide the watermark if there is one, and they'll be like, message me for $40 FaceTime or $40 meetup. Like, bro, that shit is so fake. Like, it happens really, really often to so many sex workers. Even to me, when I only had 2,000 followers on Twitter. Moving down to the middle, there's people who will straight up DM me, I want to take advantage of you with my friends. Straight up creepy ass motherfuckers. This one guy trying to DM me to buy, and he was time wasting, so I blocked him. And he messaged me on another account. I also blocked him again. He messaged me on a third account, same person. He's like, block me again and watch what happens. And I posted it in a sex work safe community, and this girl comments like, yeah, he sent that shit to me too in my DMs, saying that he's gonna hack me if I block him again, and just straight up harassing sex workers is just really not cool, bro. Nah, that boy is a cap for real. But that's just the middle of the iceberg. Like, moving down to the deep abyss, bitch, the dark underwater shit, you will run into straight up, I don't know if I can say this, I've gotten an instant where someone asked me for a custom video, right? And they had a whole script. I ain't even DM them first. They just sent me a whole script. They're like, hey, you look like my little...
All I need is this to know how fucked up your ass individual is. That is all I need to see. I don't even need to know what this is. All I needed to see was this to know how fucked up this individual is. Holy shit.
Script. I ain't even DM them first. They just sent me a whole script. They're like, hey, you look like my little sister, a minor.
They said that in the script?
Yes. They're like, hey, you look like my little sister. Can you please act out this and this sexual things as their minor sister? And I'm like, dude, that is so fucking disgusting, bro. And I've gotten 2 other people like that too. There's this one other person that straight up admitted to me, like, hey, if I saw, I'm gonna F them, you know. And that was so disturbing. That's one of the most disturbing things that I will run into on Twitter or sex work in general, when people will DM me those horrible things. It's something people wouldn't even think that would happen to sex workers or just shit like that, but there really be those creepy ass motherfuckers.
The self-admission is crazy.
For real, how are you bold as hell admitting to my DMs that you're... Trust me, I reported all of them. That's like the dark side of Twitter and dark side of like sex work in general. There are some creeps looking for like some creepy ass shit like that, and you gotta stay far away from there.
People seem to not take sex work seriously or look down upon it. Why do you think that is, and what do you have to say against that?
Personally, I believe that everybody and their mama and their granddaddy and everybody, bro, be fucking. Almost everybody be fucking. And the difference between sex...
I just want to make that clear. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, boy. But the difference is between like sex workers and non-sex workers is that we just get paid to fuck. We just get paid to do sexual shit. People really look down upon that because, oh, she's like being sexual and she's open about it and she's showing her nude body to the world. That should be secret and whatever. And like, I feel like it's just super deviant in our society, or that's how it's viewed at least. And I just really feel like sex worker is definitely one of the oldest jobs in like history, bro.
Yeah.
And I don't think that
true.
stigma and shame is never going to completely go away. But I really hope people understand, like, sex work, personally, I stay at home. I don't go out do meetups. To people who do meetups, that's great for them. I don't judge them. There's definitely tons of areas of sex work. None of them should be categorized into like degrading terms like a prostitute or something like that. I just feel like it's totally unfair.
Okay.
I'm going to keep... I want to keep my mouth shut here. I want to. But I think if you... Listen, if you accept money to go get... just fuck random strangers, you that is the definition of a prostitute. That's what a prostitute is. I feel like you can't be offended when you do that. I think you kind of deserve the judgment you get. You're also pretty stupid for it. Because in my opinion, you're going to just get fucked by who knows who, and you don't know who they are. You don't know if they're going to thing. You don't know if they actually want to fight you, or they just want to get you alone and then they kill you. You don't know. You don't know, and there's a reason why most sex workers, there's a lot of cases of sex workers getting killed. It's because it's the most easiest Most easiest job to get set up to be killed. I'm sorry, it's just true. It is.
You said there are some sex workers that do meetups? Really?
Yeah.
That's fucking
yeah.
dangerous.
It is dangerous. I would never consider it personally, but I do see people on Twitter offering to do meetups.
Since you are at the top percent of OnlyFans, did the amount of money shock you when you started seeing like your OnlyFans blow up?
Bro, yeah. When I wasn't taking it seriously, I would get like 1 subscriber a day, and I was already like, oh, someone subscribed.
And how much were they paying?
It was mostly for just like the subscription fee, and that was $15 a month, and it still is. But I have
do
like
you get like
every-
is there like a percentage split? Because there is on Twitch, you know, you get
Yeah.
like, so what's the percentage split on OnlyFans?
For OnlyFans, it's 20%. They take 20% from you.
Okay. I'm guessing it's the same amount of time when your Twitter was blowing up, your OnlyFans was also gaining traction. So you saw that money, you're just like, is this real?
Yeah, I was like, I didn't even know this could even be a thing, like to make money from this. Because when I first started, I was mostly making money from buyers on Twitter. I was selling dick rates. I was selling like solo pictures. I was sending videos. I was selling a lot of shit I never would have thought, and it was mostly like dick rates. Like
Really?
literally me typing what I think about their dick.
Do they be sending it like soft?
Bro, sometimes, and it'd be scary, I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like some of them have a humiliation kink. They want you to make fun of it. They want you to like say it's
Oh yeah,
small.
even ask me straight up, like, can you humiliate me? Can I have it's called a small humiliation video.
I'm done with this whole conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry you had to watch this. We're done with this conversation. This interview's gone off the rails. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment what you think down below. I apologize for this. I'll never react to this again. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you on the next one.